Manifestors, my loves, if you want to manifest better, you need to inform. If you are struggling to bring your ideas to life, informing will help you. In today's conversation, I am going to explain the Manifestor strategy in human design, which is called to inform. I will tell you what informing is and what it's not, because it only applies to pretty specific situations. You can think of informing as paving the road ahead so that you can smoothly get your ideas out into the world and clear away any roadblocks. Welcome to Human Design with Anna. I am Anna, and your strategy in human design is a tool that I offer you to get what you want. Each of the 4 types in human design has a specific strategy, and I've been sticking more to traditional human design lately, so all the information in this video is taken pretty directly from Ra Uru Hu, who was the founder of human design and a manifestor himself. Simply put, to inform means telling someone of a decision that will affect them before you take action. You make a decision to do something, you communicate that decision to whomever will be impacted by it. Informing is not broadcasting what you're going to do to everyone, and is not asking for permission to do the thing. Let me give you an example of what informing looks like. So let's say you make a decision to move across country and you live alone, so you don't think it's going to affect anybody. Manifestors naturally aren't very inclined to think about how their future decisions will impact people. So what you want to do is take a pause and write down a list of all the people who could be possibly affected by your move across country. And while you're doing this, you remember, sometimes I feed my elderly neighbor's cats, and she's going to need to find somebody else once I move. So to inform would look like slipping a note under her door, letting her know that you're moving and she needs to find somebody else to feed her cats, or sending her a text communicating that information. All you're doing when you're informing is communicating information about a decision you've made that will impact that person. Informing is this courtesy that you extend others to prevent future resistance or annoying reactions, such as your neighbor calling you frantically when she sees you out the window loading boxes onto your U-Haul. So which is less annoying, slipping a note under her door or having to deal with her frantic energy when you're in the middle of a move? But until you understand how impactful your energy is as a manifestor, your strategy to inform might not make a lot of sense to you. Like, why would somebody care what I'm doing? Why do I have to tell them? Because your actions impact others, even when you think that they don't, because your energy is so powerful as a manifestor. Only 8 to 10% of the population are the manifestor type because of how powerful, impactful your energy is. Manifestors, and I'll put up some examples here, are really here to be leaders, to be renegades, to be trailblazers, and often their energy can be quite polarizing. You have one job as a manifestor, and that is to initiate. What you initiate is up to you. Manifestors are meant to receive urges, which are like these internal impulses, inspirations, ideas that spur you into action. Your gift as a manifestor is really to get the ball rolling. This could be starting a business or launching a movement or calling your high school crush out of the blue. You also, as a manifestor, have initiatory energy. And what I mean by this is that your presence alone, just your presence, can be a powerful catalyst for somebody. It can really initiate them onto a new path in life or into a whole new way of thinking. Again, powerful stuff as a manifestor. Now, keeping this in mind about how much impact your energy alone has and how much you are designed to impact the world. Let me dive into another example of what informing looks like. This is a real textbook example that I got from Ra himself. So you get a strong urge to quit your job and you decide that that is the right action to take. Informing would look like preparing your boss and your coworkers that you are leaving by giving them 2 weeks notice. Quitting the day on the job, the day you have that urge to quit, would not be informing and could potentially throw everything into chaos. Your coworker might be unnecessarily hurt because you have lunch with her every day and she's like, wait, you're leaving? Where are you going? Why are you leaving? Your boss could be really upset and angry that you didn't give her enough time to find a replacement. You can think of informing as giving people the heads up of an action that you've already decided to take. This will really help them be more receptive and supportive of what it is you are going to do. For example, your boss might be a good future reference for you because she didn't feel disrespected when you left her in the lurch when you didn't inform. Or maybe your coworker follows you to your next venture and becomes your first employee because she really admires and trusts you. Informing is really a way that gains the trust and respect of those around you, and it can really help them support whatever it is, whatever bold move you are taking. A lot of your power as a manifestor comes from your communication. High level, just for a second, all manifestors have a defined throat center in their human design connected to a motor center. So they're really here to have very powerful communication. You can think of informing as a way to strengthen your power, not as something that weakens you. Now, 2 notes on informing. You always want to inform after you've made a decision to take an action, not while you're in the process of deciding. Manifestors are really not here to take in a lot of input or advice. And the second note is that you also need to inform people of something you decide to no longer do. So for example, you've been casually dating somebody for a few weeks and you decide it's just not for you. Informing would look like just shooting them a text like, hey, I just want to let you know it's been nice getting to know you, but I'm not really feeling this, and best of luck. Not informing would look like ghosting. Now, for the people in the back who are not convinced that informing is necessary and instead rely on being passive or passive aggressive or aggressive to get what you want instead of just directly communicating what you are doing, I want to offer you this. Of the 4 strategies in human design, Ra Uru Hu, again, the founder of human design, admits that the manifestor strategy is not natural. It is artificially imposed on manifestors, so you have a right to resist it. But I also want to remind you that Ra himself was a manifestor, and if you've ever heard him speak or watched a video of him, there is not a people-pleasing bone in that man's body. He says that informing paves the way for manifesting. Why? So Ra talks about how informing is the only way to the freedom from resistance that manifestors need to manifest. Informing really puts people at ease and clears them out of the way. Now, when people act badly or react badly to you informing, which is definitely bound to happen, I just see it as showing you who is not for you and just let them fall by the wayside. When you are making bold moves as a manifestor, there definitely will be people who will try to stop you and not like what you're doing. And manifestors definitely do not like to be controlled, so that's why often manifestors just skip their strategy altogether. But I just want to remind you, you're not a child anymore. Can you really be controlled and stopped by somebody not liking what you're doing? Informing is not asking for permission. It is just simply communicating to somebody, I am doing this, before you do the thing. Now, if you still think that this sounds like asking for permission, I would invite you to check in with yourself and to see if you are still taking other people's reactions to you personally, or when other people get triggered by you, that you're taking it personally. One of the lessons that I see for manifestors is to not take other people's reactions to them personally. As a manifestor, again, you are not designed to take in a lot of input. And this is actually because of how your aura is designed. So I want to get into aura just for a minute. Your aura in human design is your energy that other people feel from you at a subconscious level. It's everybody's auras are always interacting and communicating at this, again, nonverbal level. Each type in human design has a specific aura, and I'm not going to water down the manifestor aura. It's called closed and repelling. You have a closed and repelling aura, which means that at a subconscious level, people might contract around you or feel defensive around you and not know why. So Ra talks about how informing will help put people at ease around you. This is why manifestors are encouraged to make the first move to initiate relationships, to approach other people, because people aren't naturally inclined to approach manifestors because of their aura. You can think of this closed and repelling aura as being exclusive, like a nightclub that everybody's lined up in front of trying to get in. You might be surprised that when you inform or when you invite other people into your life, how much they want to jump on your bandwagon. You are not as alone as you think as a manifestors. And manifestors really do need others to bring that idea to life that they're trying to bring to life on their own. I'm thinking of a couple famous manifestors who launched movements or magazines, and how they couldn't possibly bring their vision to life without the support of other people. So informing really allows other people to support you, because your gift as a manifestor is getting the ball rolling and starting things and launching things, but you're not as gifted at sustaining them because of how your energy ebbs and flows. So you really need other people's help to sustain whatever it is you have started. Okay, briefly, what informing is not. Informing is not telling somebody what you think about them. It's not telling them what to do. It's not telling them what's wrong with them or criticizing them. That is something else. That is not informing. Your authority, which is your decision-making process in human design, will always lead you to your inner truth. It'll always tell you the right action to take. And oftentimes, or sometimes, manifestors can take a lot of rebellious action or brash action out of anger, which is their not self, instead of right action or correct action, which is always going to come from your authority. And since we know that the strategy is more of an artificially imposed thing on manifestors, you can think of your authority as really your inner truth. So your authority is really important to know as a manifestors. I do see it helpful for manifestors to inform, to communicate others of their needs. And here are some common needs for manifestors. So you could say something like, I appreciate your insight, but I'm not looking for advice. One thing you should know about me is that I get annoyed if I'm pestered with questions. I need a lot of alone time. It's not personal. It's how I recharge. And I'll let you know what I'm going to do when I'm ready. And in closing this conversation, I want to add that informing works both ways. So if you have a manifestor in your life, and that's why you're watching this video, it can really be helpful to inform them of your decisions, to keep them in the loop of what you're doing instead of pestering them with questions. This will really show them the respect and freedom that they crave. And for my manifestors, I really hope this strategy to inform helps you find the peace and harmony that I know deep down you are seeking. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, take good care.